Yo, okay, so I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different than I was doing before. Instead of putting this in the chat, I'm gonna put this in a separate YouTube channel. The YouTube channel that is of me documenting my journey as a YouTuber and getting myself, acclimated to the information and the knowledge about YouTube analytics and just all that stuff. I'm gonna be putting it in a video format and just placing all my videos of me going through my analytics and talking about things that I discovered. I'm gonna put it on there and then put the link and then send it to y'all in the messages so that y'all whatever. For the people who not in my messages and random people who kind of stumbled across my channel, this is hey, this is hi, right? Nonetheless, today I want to actually go over really quickly because it's not going to take too long. It's only a little bit of data to go through, but this is really important information that will be beneficial to you all as you are making content. And this is something that it just happened to me today, right? Today I just posted a video. I posted this video right here, entitled "Star and Stripes has one for all, and all for one knows about it," or something like that. Whatever it is, right? It's just a video about My Hero Academia. It's a discussion video on the newest chapter, right? Now, I need you all to understand something. You all have control. You don't have control, but you have a lot of control over how your video performs, right? No matter what you do, no matter what you think, you have control over how your video performs for the most part. It depends on how fast you're able to put things together that will determine how fast your growth will come from your channel. And I'm saying that because that's exactly the problem that happened with me in this video today. As you can see, this video, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Why is it, let me just go to see more. As you can see, this video, right? I need to do better. I need to do better. All right. As you can see, this video is outperforming my average videos, right? It is currently 1 of 10, right? It's the best performing video out of my last 10 videos by a landmark. But if you were to ever so slightly, if you were to ever so slightly zoom in, which for some reason I can't zoom in, you will notice that the video was not performing too well in the beginning stages of this video's runtime. And in fact, it was actually on the bottom of the low part of my average videos. If you look at this video right here, for in the first six minutes, I only got 44 views, and I typically get 40 to 70 views. So I was at the 40 mark instead of the 70 mark. And the same thing goes on for this. I was actually underperforming, right? My average videos in between, how many views I get typically, right? In the first 18 minutes, I end up getting 106 views when I typically get 110 to 160. So I'm underperforming drastically on my video. And I started to panic because I just put so much hard work and sweat and blood and tears, and it's probably my best produced videos that I ever created, and you should check that video out because it's fan freaking tastic in my opinion. Humbly, right? But it wasn't performing the way that I thought it was. I said that this video is going to bang, that this video is going to get 10,000 views in the first 4 days. I was talking big, thinking that I had it all down, but it started performing poorly. It started to perform on the bottom end of my average, and I needed to perform at least on the top end. If in obviously best case scenario, it does what it does right here, which is in the first hour. I typically get 360 views, but I end up actually getting 421 views. So now you have to ask the question: well, how did I get to this spot? How did I get to the place where I can change the trajectory? I changed the trajectory of my video's performance within a couple of minutes, because as you can see, what right here, yeah, right here, just stop right here. In the first 27, almost 30 minutes of my video, I was getting 167, whatever it is, 167 views when my average is about 150 to 210, right? So how did I change it? Well, firstly, you have to understand the algorithm and how it works. YouTube works as such, right? They have an algorithm. One, it's not a single algorithm. It's multiple algorithms. And the algorithm is trying to put your videos in the best place, or in the best place for your viewers to watch it and essentially enjoy it. People who would most likely like that video based on your audience history, they're going to place that video in front of them. And based on their interaction with your videos will determine how your video will perform, right? If people watch your video and they only watch it for 2 seconds, then their video will not perform. Whereas if they watch it for a longer period of time, then YouTube will give you an opportunity by expanding your video out a little bit further to see how it does with a higher market. Now, I say that to say your initial following is the people that will dictate how your video will perform, essentially. And that is huge because it brings a lot of context into the fold. Well, if your video isn't performing, what does that mean? Does that mean that my initial audience doesn't like the video? It's a lot of factors, right? The number one factor it could be, or a simple factor it could be, is that you probably posted your video at a time when your viewers are not your viewers are not active, right? So if your viewers are not active on social media or on YouTube, then you probably shouldn't be posting at that particular point in time. And you may be asking, well, how do I know when to do that? YouTube actually has a metric in their analytics where you can see that. So you don't even have to, you don't even have to ask that question. You can see clearly the metrics in the analytics that goes over, okay, well, your most of your viewers or most of the people who watch your videos, they're on YouTube around this particular point in time. So you have to make sure that you have timing. You have to post a video at the right time. Now you have to go into the topic of the video. Maybe the topic of the video isn't that good. Okay, well, you can't really control that at the particular point in time, but you can kind of weigh it out and get as much juice as you can from that video by transitioning over to the other important thing, which is your thumbnail and your title. This is something that I personally had to ask myself when it comes to this video. I knew the topic was big because it's based off of a trending topic of the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. So I know 100% it's not about my topic. I know the timing was big because originally I was going to post a video at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I looked at my analytics and it said that at 10 o'clock is when most of my viewers actually watch my videos or actually are online on YouTube. So I decided to up my time from 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for optimal performance, right? And so that tells me that that's pretty much it too. Those two things, I'm good. Timing and topic, I'm straight. Now I have to ask myself about the thumbnail. Well, I have to look at things realistically. I did not create this thumbnail. I obviously the thumbnail isn't bad at all. I think it's a fantastic thumbnail. But if it was a not so good thumbnail, I would either have to get a new thumbnail made, which takes a day or something like that, or a couple of hours because I had a thumbnail artist draw it for me, or I would have to create something completely new in Photoshop, which I very much could, but it wouldn't come out to something like this, right? And I have my own philosophies on thumbnails, but I do believe the thumbnail is good, and that is obviously shown because of the click-through rate that I have on my channel or I have on my video. It was pretty solid. Now, I had to ask myself, what about the title? And I think that was the actual answer. The title was the reason why my video was not performing well, right? In the beginning stages, right? It all works together, which is why it is important for you to understand all the metrics in YouTube or all the things that YouTube look for, because it's not individual. It's not one thing or the other. It's typically all of them connected together, but one thing kind of is lacking, and then you need to push that up a little bit so that you can get the best performing video that you possibly can at that particular point in time. This is my current title for my video. Star and Stripe has one for all, and all for one knows it, right? This is my current title for my video. Now, when I show you my previous title, which I thought was a fantastic title before, you would understand why, just why the video was performing way better now than it was before. This is the title before. Star and Stripe's big secret is why All for One would take over the world. It is such a mouthful. It's so much to say, and it's kind of crazy that I mean, even though I thought that was a good title, it's crazy that I thought that was a good title, being that it's so many words. It's over 70 characters, which is already, kind of red flag territory. They say typically you should have your main topic or your main title under 60 words, because one, it's easier to say, and two, it's on mobile you're able to see the entire title instead of it cutting off, right? But more importantly than that, it's just easier to say. Star and Stripe's big secret is why All for One will take over the world. Plus, it brings more of a statement into the fold, and it also explains what the big secret is, and it brings a shock factor because, again, in My Hero Academia, One for All is a very powerful quirk, and we know the secrets of One for All. So for me saying somebody has One for All that doesn't have, that may not traditionally be looked at as having One for All is a huge thing, which brings a shock factor, and it connects more emotion to the viewer who is reading or, checking out the title. So I want to show you all the analytics, the difference, right? The difference of how my video was before and after. Now I have 1,000 impressions, and that's pretty dope, sure, right? I don't know why it's kind of showing in this weird little thing, but I have 1,000 impressions. Let me lower this. I have 1,000 impressions, and what we're gonna do is impressions by video. Oh man, gosh darn it. It's crazy because like it's the way that it is, it's not showing in the angle that I want. I want it to show in the angle and not in the yeah. But okay, is it not gonna show me? It's not gonna show me. Okay. So pretty much what I want to do is the first 40 minutes, right? The first 30 minutes I only had 70. I'm sorry. The first 30 minutes I only had 706 impressions, right? How many times my video was actually pushed in front of somebody's face. It was only shown to 760 people, right? And in that time, click-through rate is kind of a little bit more difficult to really understand. But at that time, I had a low click-through rate as well. I had a click-through rate about 8%, and this is actually before I decided to change my title of my video, right? Since 30 minutes, I've had almost 1,000 more impressions after changing my title, the title of my video, right? Which is not bad in the slightest, right? Especially because the click-through rate is raised, it rose as well. It went from 8% to now 12.9%, meaning that more people are clicking on my video. That tells me that my thumbnail was not the problem at all, and it more likely was the title of my video instead of the thumbnail of my video, which is really good. It really is really good. And obviously I have 519 views now, which means that my video is not only doing well, but it's performing well, right? My audience, engagement, right? People watching 4 minutes and 90 seconds, which is, I want to raise that up, obviously, but people are watching 4 minutes and 90 seconds, average on my video so far. And, and also, my watch time is obviously on the high end of things as well, so it's not in the average, it's actually on the higher end. I typically get about 10 to 40 minutes of watch time, and now I'm at 36, right, which is really good. So I obviously want that to be higher as well. The whole point of me making this video is for me to explain to you all that you can control the trajectory of your videos, your past videos, your current videos, and your future videos by catching and understanding the YouTube algorithm, how it works, and being able to manipulate, or not manipulate it, but essentially put yourself in the best position for your video to succeed, right? Your content may be good. It doesn't matter how good your content is. If your thumbnail is kind of wacky, you're going to have to change your thumbnail. If your title is kind of wacky, you're going to have to change your title. If you're not seeing the performance, if you're not seeing the results that you want, you have to immediately nip it in the bud. And if you don't nip it in the bud, then your videos are not going to be able to perform, and you will not be able to see the results that you have been asking and begging for. You have fantastic content. I probably would not deny that, but you are not packaging it right. If you can have a brand new iPhone, but if somebody say, hey, I have a new phone, and just put it in like a toilet paper thing, you're gonna be like, I probably don't want it. I probably don't want it, especially if you already have a phone, right? So it's how you package it. It's how you package it. It's not what you do, it's how you package what you do, right? And that is more important than anything. So if you have any videos in the past, take some time, take 30 minutes a day, or every, whatever, take 30 minutes whenever you decide to get in your analytics place and sit down and figure out how you can make a better thumbnail for your video in the past, because your past videos can skyrocket as well, especially if they're evergreen and longevity based content as well, like content that you can watch a year from now, 2 years from now, and it's still relevant. So take your time, look at your title, look at your thumbnail. Now, obviously, for a tip, I would change one thing and not change everything, right? Reason being, if you change again, you can change everything. If your title and your thumbnails are trash, change both of them, right? But the thing that's the reason why it's important for you to change one typically, like whenever you do something like this, because you don't know what the problem is if you change multiple things. So you, like, if the situation happens again, you would never know if is it the thumbnail because I changed my thumbnail, is it the title because I changed my title, like what is it? Like I don't know what it is. So change one thing typically to how to kind of be able to measure it at a time, and just kind of have an eye or concepts that you kind of can pull from that kind of can gauge you in the right direction of what your more successful video is. Or you can just go to your most successful video and say, okay, my thumbnail is the same as this video, so maybe it's my title, whatever, right? But I just wanted to go through that real quick. I'm sorry it took like 15-16 minutes for me to do that, but hopefully you all gained some value from this, because this is really huge and really important, and it would change how you view content if you can take time to truly understand how the algorithm works and put yourself in position to succeed when it comes to packaging your content that you have for your viewers. All right. And you can obviously reverse engineer all this information if you're trying to apply it to completely different, aspects in different content and stuff like that. But I love you all, and I'm out.